When you're ready.
Okay. Everyone's got their flat collar and maximum 6 foot lead. Yeah? I'll quickly check on them, we'll go through everything. Nice. I'd say take it off. Some of them have beeps. So doing a mock trial SR1. The plan is warm up in the car park. You could warm up sort of behind Sophie's car. It's kind of outside shield. Exactly. We'll have one dog in warm up, one dog in the fold, which is behind the container, and then the other dog will be doing their test. This is the gate to go in, and there's 2 poles for where the start will be, and the gate for exiting is up again there. There is a long line, so there are plenty of room actually, that's the rough area. I've got a working order here, so just bear that in mind. So you know when you are, so you know when to sort of get out and do your warm up. Obviously, no food, toys, any rewards on the field. Just make sure that your pockets are empty, sort of training vests, bags, things like that. We'll just do a walk through, that'll probably be the easiest way. So come in. So we'll have the gate opened. This is going to be starting, so when I say do that, you'll have 3 times to say that. Our greeters are going to be at these orange poles. So you'll go up, shake hands with your greeter. Hi, I'm Jodie, this is Duffy, nice to meet you. Moving on to the next one, make sure you're not doing any sort of flybys, which is easy to do. So greet each person with a handshake, and if your dog sort of sits at each greeting, that gives you 5 points. Tension, 3 seconds, all sorts of points. Over 9 seconds will be non-qualifying. Because it's a mock trial, even if you sort of get either too many points for or have an NQ you want, just so you get practice with all of the sections. If you feel like your dog is struggling a lot and think that there's no benefit to continuing on, then let me know so you can just stop exit. Because obviously there's not going to be any rewards, so you can't when they do a good reward them. So just bear that in mind, or if you want, once you've sort of, if you happen to make your dog sort of qualify at all, you're doing something else. If you want to just say the downstairs, or if you want that to be shorter for any reason, or livery, then also do that. But hopefully you'll all just fly through it all and it'll be lovely. So we'll greet our 3 greeters. I'll then ask you to do your figure of 8, which will be around these 2 jump stands. That'll be 3 times. So again, each pressure will apply. If you see any sort of like active loose pressure, 5 points. Obviously no eliminating on the field at all. If you do, then it will be as well. Once you've done your 3 figure of 8s, wait until I tell you scoring is off for your dog. Because it's very easy to be like, count to 3 and then you stop, reward your dog or whatever, and then that's before I've told you. So I'll tell you scoring is off, there's your dog. So just keep on going until I tell you that, okay? So once that's done, we'll then head up to the middle section. So I will tell you to go stand on the line. Scoring is on when you stand on the line. So think about where you want your dog before you start that. So bearing in mind that as soon as you stand on the line, where feet are on the line, not sort of at the line, on the line, scoring is on. So if your dog's like sniffing about over there, you might not. So you have time to be like, if you put your dog in a sit in front, that doesn't need to count towards points or anything like that. You can sit, then you can go on your line, call your dog to the middle. Obviously any hand gestures or sort of leash pressure, extra cues will count as well. So trying to sort of stand middle, middle, whatever your cue is. We'll then ask for a step forward, again and making sure you stand on the line. Turn to your right, knowing what way your right is when you're driving a car. I have done it many times before where I go the wrong way. So if you turn to your right, again making sure you're standing on the line. And then turn to the left, standing on the line. If your dog's got a sit in the middle or a stand in the middle or a drive in the middle, obviously I'm not doing that whenever you stop. You'll then ask for a down. You'll put down your dog. I'll then ask, say, step over your dog, attach long line. Long line is here. Attach your long line, remove your lead. Make sure you attach your long line, then remove your lead. Always holding on to your lead so that you don't have it really essentially. Stow your lead on you. Do not put it down, put it on you. So by the time you get to the front, you've got it. So make sure you either clip it around you, put it in the pocket, whatever sort of, you just keep it on you. You will then do the dog greeting. So you'll come over, Sophie will come with the next little dog, Ziva. She'll come with Ziva. What I want you to do is come on this side of the jump stand. Pat Ziva. Oh hi Ziva. I'll say thank you or, you know, okay that's enough. So Ziva then goes away, pat her till I say I don't shit. Right, and that's that. Come in, pat her, I'll tell you when. Once she goes, we're then going to do our 30 seconds out of sight, where you go in the container here. Make sure you go in because obviously your dog's going to be down in there, so if you're just kind of standing here, they can see you. So I will be checking. These are fully hidden away, no peeking. I'll shout thank you. He needs to come out. Once he's come out, that's when our two distractions are going to be. So the first distraction, I've been really mean and I do apologise already, is a doorbell. So it's out of context, it's not in a house, so we'll see how it goes, but I think that's going to be really tricky. Obviously, if your dog comes out of middle down at any point, it completely comes out of its down, where it moves away from sort of like the meter sort of parameter, it's NQ. If it just kind of army crawls and stays within that little parameter, it's 15 points. If it sits up, again it's 15 points. It's like functional, but just not right, essentially. They can, if they flip their hip into like, rather than a sphinx, that's 1 point. So, and with the doorbell, some of them I feel like might bark or something like that. Depends how severe the barking is, depends on what the score might be, so just thinking about where you might want to stand. Well, so after the doorbell, there is, I'm going to give you this toy, and you're going to come, I've got 2 wee dots, I'm going to pop the ball on the floor, the toy on the dot there, and then just drag it back to this dot, and then you can give it back to me. So, then the 2-minute downstay should be done, and they've all aced it, they're all still on their perfect sphinx down. You're then I'll then tell you when the 2 minutes is done. I'll say, go and stand on the line. It's this straight line. Always stand on the straight line first, not the cross. For both. Stand on the straight line. Wait until I ask you to call your dog to front. Don't just stand on the line and call to front. I'll say, call your dog to front. So you then call them to front. I'll then ask you to take a step back. Again, standing on the line. And I'll do, say, turn to the left, turn to the right, again, thinking about your left and right. At some point within this, it'll be the same for everyone, I'll ask you to reattach your lead. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's done. It might be where I say, call to front, attach your lead, and then you have to do your steps and turns. It might be at the end. And then again, wait until I say, score's off, play with your dog, and then you can move away and play. So you've just got to wait on instruction. Because it's so easy to be like, right, I've done my steps and turns, I've attached my lead, okay, we're good. And then we're not finished yet. I've done the same as well. So that's then the obedience section done. The next section will be our liberty. So we're going to attach them to the long line again. The perimeter is, the leads can't reach it, so you don't have to worry about them trying to get through it hopefully. But obviously leash pressure rules do apply. So if you have a cue for your liberty or whatever, say your cue, then attach the long line, remove your lead, put your lead on you. Any cues said after that long line's attached are counted as cues, and they'll be 5 points. If you happen to be doing like default obedience where you just put them in a down and you want them to down for 2 minutes, that's 15 points. However, make sure you do that before you attach the long line. If you attach the long line then ask for a down, that's 5 points and then. Okay? It'll be 2 minutes of liberty. Mooching about, no running around like crazy, no sort of jumping up on people. Jumping up on people is a rule throughout. On the floor, barbecue behaviour. Again, no toileting. You think about it, if you see them sniffing and it looks like they're going to pee, then use a recall or something. Because a recall, so a cue, 5 points. If they do the toilet, thank you. So thinking about what strategies you might want to use.
Go over to them, like if you don't say something, just go pet them or something. Is that the same as well?
So it depends. If it looks like you're purposefully trying to subtly cue them, it could be like some very subtle cues that look like you're like changing the dog's behaviour. That can be like, right, well that was definitely on whatever. It can be 1 point or 5 points, just depending on the subtlety of the cue. Super subtle, I might not know, and then it's 0 points. So just thinking about that, but like you can obviously just like stretch down, you can give them a pat, like stand up and move, thinking about where you are in relation to other things. You can pat them for 10 seconds, then you should stop, not too much. That's pretty much it. Once the 2 minutes is done, I'll ask you to put your lead back on and remove the long line. Do not recall them, go over to them and catch them up. Your lead. Do that, I will then tell you, score's off, here you're done. After each section, I'll give you a score breakdown, and if you end up putting any points, then we'll sort of see if you want to continue, if there's any sections that you want to shorten, whatever you can do. Does anyone have any questions? No?
See if they break it down in a downstay,
Yep.
obviously like they're eliminated, but can you go and down them again if you want to continue?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
obviously, if they both now stay in a real trial and moved away, that would be an NQ, but you can put them back in. So ask them for a down again, and then you can continue on. It might be where if they're really struggling, you just shorten it slightly, or if it was just because of a distraction, we'll just move on to the next one, if that makes sense. Yeah. Is that it? Does that make sense? Great.
Do you want any fencing information? Sorry.
We've managed to make stuff, so thank you though.
Here we are.
Thanks.